If you have an infection on your arm, like you try to get rid of that infection, right? You don't just cut your arm off.
Oh.
And so like when your gallbladder's sick, like you need to heal it. You don't need to just cut it out.
Welcome to The Doctor Within, where we believe the doctor in here is way better than any doctor out there. And tonight we're going to talk about another myth, a health myth. And that is a tongue twister. Health myth. Health myth is...
You're getting better at it.
What's the plural of health myth?
Health mythesis.
Mythesis?
Yes. Mythos.
Health mythology.
So I'm Dr. Pat Kennedy, and I'm a chiropractor for 32 years. And we got Charlie Ray, owner of Nature's Outlet and a nutrition expert in his own right. And John Rigdon, who is a nutrition expert and a good-looking guy. I mean, we would probably go with that.
Hey, I got the nutrition from Charlie and the good looking from Pat.
Oh, okay.
He's eye candy.
Not my father.
Normally
just
candy
my
isn't
role
healthy,
model.
but a little bit of eye candy
Eye
now and
candy's
then is
good 'cause
okay.
there's no
a little
calories.
bit of eye candy is okay.
All right, so we talked about in the last episode about vaccines, and I'm sure it probably got a lot of people hot.
And no one's watching right now,
Dude,
actually.
that episode was a
We're
real,
like, we're done.
it was a real shot in the arm for me.
Oh, my. You know what? I had a patient tell me that said
I just had to needle you over that.
they're creating a new bumper sticker. It's called, I don't give a shot.
Hey, people are having a cow right now.
No.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Only 6% of the people in the audience speak Latin, so that went
So
past
what-
people.
we were talking before the show, and you make a very good point. But what's the myth that you want us to talk about tonight? Is it fact or fiction?
Yeah, the whole idea of like vestigial organs, meaning like organs that we don't, parts of the body that we don't need.
Oh.
That
The Expendables?
the expendables, yeah. I mean,
I got some love handles I don't really need.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say about
Stumped you on those, huh? I gotta keep them.
Well,
It's not an organ, I guess.
Yeah. That's just adipose tissue. That's just
And
that's insulation.
Did you just say that I was fat? He just called me fat. That's okay. I was fat Pat when I was growing up.
That's right, you were.
Yeah. All right, so we digress. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I just, working in a health food store for the last 12 years, I have met a lot of people who have had their gallbladder taken out, their appendix taken out, their tonsils taken out, and
Spleens?
their spleens.
Part of their colons.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and it kind of just really makes me mad, like how eager we are as a society, the way our medical system works, that we are willing to just get rid of these things, and they serve a purpose.
I got to jump in here.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I totally relate to that, because these things are classified as minor procedures.
Yeah.
But do you know what I consider to be a minor procedure?
Haircut.
That is some crap being done to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because anything that's happening to me with a knife
Yeah.
is major. Like, why?
Especially if you go under. I mean,
Oh,
like,
God, yeah. It's like, am I going to wake up from this?
Yeah.
I don't like losing a tooth.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I really don't.
Right.
So the
I'm
gallbladder.
kind of attached to myself.
Right. We do love ourselves.
Whole separate topic. Probably a psychological thing.
But I mean, really, do you need a gallbladder?
Yeah. Gallbladder is one of the major ones. I mean,
Oh,
that
they just
is-
vacuum that sucker out now.
That
They have
is
a little vacuum
such
thing.
a common
Oh, yeah.
procedure to remove the gallbladder. And, that's your bile storage tank. And I know there's been this war on fat for the last several decades. I mean, all the experts are like, low fat diet, avoid fat. And we need it. I mean, our brain is made out of fat. It's almost all fat. You're starving your brain if you're not able to assimilate fats. Your omega-3 fatty acids that you get from fish oil and things like that. So your liver produces bile, And that's what helps you digest the fats that you eat. When you eat olive oil, coconut oil, avocados, bacon, all that stuff, you need bile to break it down. And your gallbladder stores it. It's like the tank, the fuel tank. And so when you eat a meal that's got a lot of fat in it, your gallbladder is able to secrete all of this bile all at once, and you're able to digest it, and it doesn't upset your stomach. So if you rip that gallbladder out, you don't have that anymore. I mean, you're only able to digest a very small amount of fat at a single time, and it puts a lot of stress on your liver. I mean, your liver's not able to take a vacation anymore. Like, it's constantly having to work. So your options are, to avoid fat. And if you're doing that, you're starving your brain and really your entire body. I mean, all your cells have that fat coating on them. So you're starving every single cell in your body. Or there are some nutritional options, but the best option is to try to avoid getting your gallbladder removed.
So my grandma had this issue, right? And she was pretty holistically oriented. In fact, she had a health food store down in Florida. This is years ago. And she went to the doctor, and he's like, well, probably going to have to take out your gallbladder. And she's like, Doc, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
And he said, really? And she said, really? And he saw she's German. She was determined. And he saw that, and he said, well, the other thing you can do is just not eat food for the 3 hours before you go to bed. And she started doing that. Boop, solved it.
Really?
That's awesome.
And the other thing is we've got our biochemist friend. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times what happens is gallbladders, they're these storage tanks for the bile. Well, sometimes they get gummed up, so to speak, like a carburetor, maybe. If you know anything about cars, maybe that's a good analogy. And what does he do? The fat flush.
Oh, yeah.
So people are having gallbladder trouble. He has them cut back on their food for a little bit, and then he'll have them intentionally eat a very fatty meal. And what it does is the liver responds, and the gallbladder responds by squeezing really hard and pushing everything out. And think about what's in the gallbladder. You got gallstones and all this stuff. It basically what it does is it flushes it out. Wow. And so that's a holistic approach where you're keeping your gallbladder. And you're basically just cleansing it out. So I'm not saying that's a universal solution.
Yeah.
But that is definitely
people should try.
If I'm looking at a spectrum of over here, I'm going into a hospital and they're gonna cut me open and suck stuff out of me, or over here I'm gonna, change my diet for a day and then eat something fatty. I think I'm gonna start there. Just me.
Well, and there's a lot of evidence for the healing powers of fasting. So I think that the fasting part of that is probably one of the
absolutely.
best aspects.
But here, what I just saw some of the viewers, they just went like this. Oh, fasting. I can't do that. I mean, I'm just gonna get my gallbladder out. I mean, the decision they're making. What you just said to me. Alarms went off in my brain.
Yeah.
Because I've been practicing for 32 years, and I've seen patients 10, 15, 20 years ago who've had the gallbladder out. Mm-hmm. They have serious mental issues with memory.
Yeah.
They have, mood swings, depression. They can't sleep. So what you're saying is, because the brain is a fatty organ, and you need to be able to digest those fats. They can't do it, so you're actually hurting your brain when you lose your gallbladder.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. I mean, it's you are no longer able to feed your brain as efficiently as
your brain,
you once were.
You're now sort of in a way starving.
Okay,
you're starving your brain.
People out there who have their gallbladder out, they're going, oh my gosh, I'm screwed. What can they do to make sure that, they don't have the gallbladder? What can they do so they can save their brain?
Because there's
what can they do?
There's things they can do, which nutritionally that are very helpful.
Well, let's hear it.
Absolutely. I mean, you just kind of have to artificially replace that stuff. So there's they make ox bile supplements, which sounds really gross.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, so you're borrowing the bile from an animal.
Do you have to drink it?
No, it's
No.
It's
in
a
a
pill.
It's a
Yeah, you
pill.
don't. Yeah, you're not tasting it.
And then you have other.
Yeah,
you have
vials are rough to taste. I mean, if anyone's
Yeah,
ever
no,
gotten
no,
really
like,
sick,
I ain't doing that.
don't do that. Yeah,
vomiting,
Yeah.
they know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Digestive enzymes, specifically lipase. Lipase is your fat digesting enzyme.
Okay.
So supplementing with that, it's all about breaking down those fat molecules, into the smallest pieces, so that you can actually
body can use them
assimilate
better.
them. Yeah. So, yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So
Yeah, there are things you can do. Yeah, and
great.
we've got a lot of customers that are very satisfied and live a very normal life. Probably the biggest thing, the thing they're happiest about, is once they start an enzyme therapy protocol, they can reintroduce some of their favorite foods that they've been having to avoid.
Absolutely.
They love that part of it. So
They feel better. I mean, they're not bloated. They don't have diarrhea all the time. I mean, that's people without a gallbladder. I mean, they deal with diarrhea.
there's a lot of misery.
on a weekly basis. Like,
Yeah, it's a routine.
So there's hope out there.
yeah.
well, sure.
Okay, that's good. And I know we just kind of beat the gallbladder in the ground, but
Well,
we're
that was
talking
just an example, right? So
tonsils and appendix
Yeah.
and those things.
Well, so the big idea on this, my big takeaway is, okay, if you've got an issue with one of these organs, look into, are there ways that you can heal the organ or heal the problem with diet and lifestyle and nutrition before you have to take the somewhat radical step of getting cut open and having part of you permanently taken away.
think you can.
And so that's really what we're saying is, look at the options when you hear something like that. Don't just say okay. Like, look into it, do some research, check it out. There's definitely things you can do. Body's amazing at healing if you do the right stuff, and it's really it's getting out of the way.
Right. When I see patients who they do physical work and they come in with gashes on them and scraped up, and I've had a guy who shot, he's a construction guy and a nail gun, shot right through his thumb, and the nail was sticking out, and he pulled it out. And you know what? The cool thing about the body is it heals itself.
Sure, it's amazing.
And we all see our cuts heal, but we don't think about, because we can't see the organs, we can't see the gallbladder, can't see the appendix, can't see the tonsils. But what you're saying is that the same, I guess, power the body has to heal cuts and bruises has the same power to heal a gallbladder and a tonsil and
A liver can regenerate.
Right.
You can have liver 2/3 destroyed, maybe even more, and it can regenerate itself 100%.
There's great innate intelligence within the body, and that extends to all these vestigial organs. We need them. Like, they're there for a reason. We can heal
What's
ourselves.
the one that you were telling me influences the gut biome and like helps your body make probiotics?
Yeah, the appendix. I mean, that's
They used to say it was a useless organ.
Yeah.
They couldn't identify any use for it.
They go in and do a hysterectomy and they take your appendix out because
it's in the way.
It's in the way. But you're saying
it's like a breeding ground for your probiotics, for your good microflora. I mean, they're kind of it's an incubation chamber for that.
Wow.
So and don't get me wrong. I mean, sometimes these organs need to be removed. If it's a life-threatening situation,
Right,
if
sure.
you're
There's a
in
time and a place.
agony, if something ruptures, like, yeah, of course. But that's not I just feel like we are very eager to do this. We almost do it preemptively. Right. Like I wouldn't be surprised like 10 years from now if we're just like cutting gallbladders out of babies the way they're doing it now. I mean, younger and younger, I've seen it over the last 12 years, like more and more, younger and younger, they're removing these organs, and it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's not right. And I know this is a religious thing, but I don't think God made mistakes. He didn't like say, appendix, you don't really need that. Created it for a reason. He created your tonsils for a reason. Created your gallbladder for a reason.
Yep.
So how do we get in touch with you guys to get some natural solutions to make sure that people can actually rehabilitate their body so they can keep their organs?
Yeah.
We have our website.
Yeah, it's amplifiednaturals.com, and we have an email, info@amplifiednaturals.com.
Is it down there?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. You can also ask this guy. I mean, Dr. Pat Kennedy. I mean, he can really help you, and he's got some contact information somewhere over here.
Yeah. Probably in front of their faces.
I hope so.
Okay. This was a good show.
Yeah.
I think we've got some more topics, though.
Okay. Well, we'll do another one
Okay.
real soon.
Thanks a lot for joining us. And just remember one thing. Question whether or not you need to keep your organs or not. Because it's up to you. It's your body. Take care of yourself. Okay?
And maybe we should consider trusting the doctor in here
More than
the
the
doctors out there.
I like it, Charlie. Thank you.